Formula One hasn't even turned a wheel yet in 2020 and we're already getting huge driver market announcements, with Ferrari locking down Charles Leclerc and Red Bull locking down Max Verstappen. But one team that hasn't moved yet, and one driver whose future isn't secure beyond this year, is Lewis Hamilton. Welcome to the race. I've got Mark Hughes and Scott Mitchell here with me to discuss the driver market and primarily, arguably the most important part of the driver market, the reigning world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Mark, there was so much excitement about the 2021 driver market. Everyone seemed to be out of contract at the same time. But with Red Bull and Ferrari moving early, have we already taken the sting out of what we're going to see for next year?
Possibly. That might be what we're looking at. There is an alternative theory, but yeah, on the face of it, with Ferrari and Red Bull doing long-term contracts with their young drivers, it seems that the most obvious route is that Lewis and Mercedes continue their partnership and everything stays pretty much as is. The other alternative is that Mercedes doesn't continue into 2021, and that's a wild card theory. Could Lewis still go to Ferrari, as was mooted in the back end of last year? Yeah, no reason why he couldn't, but it doesn't seem the most obvious move. It seems that Ferrari looks set to be building a team around one guy. That's the way they've always historically preferred to operate, to build a team around one guy, as long as they're confident in that guy, and it seems that they're putting more and more trust in Charles. So yeah, on the surface, I would say the most obvious reading of it is that the top three teams retain the current top three drivers.
Now Scott, we have no one contracted to Mercedes yet for next year because Valtteri Bottas is not allowed to sign anything more than a one-year contract and Lewis's long-term deal's coming to an end. Have the deals that we've seen already told us that Lewis is definitely staying, or have they in fact just really strengthened his negotiating position as the other top liners are being taken off the market?
I feel bad. Mark's taken the optimistic view there about maybe there's still other stuff at play. I feel like I'm going to bring everyone down now, be pessimistic, or what I consider. I'll try and be realistic. It doesn't guarantee anything, as Mark says. It could be Mercedes pulls out, and there is maybe Verstappen's ahead of the game and knows that there isn't a seat at all to gun for in 2021, and that's why he's staying at Red Bull. The tricky thing is that now Mercedes is pretty much reliant on Lewis. There isn't that bargaining chip of, well, if you leave, we'll just grab Max because he's pretty quick. We can pay him a little bit less than we pay you. Now there's Leclerc's at Ferrari, Verstappen locked down at Red Bull. Valtteri Bottas has stepped up and done a great job as the wingman in 2019. But you're not going to pin your hopes to win the title on Valtteri. So Lewis must be sitting there thinking, thanks guys, this is the best way I could have started the year, because he's looking around thinking he's already commands megabucks. His value is well known to everyone, least of all Mercedes. So he would have gone in thinking, yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. I think I pretty much hold all the cards here. And now basically Verstappen and Leclerc and Ferrari and Red Bull have a little bit more leverage to hold over your current employers.
I guess the only curveball could be someone like Daniel Ricciardo, perhaps. Like if he has another difficult year at Renault, maybe looking for a move back to what we call the Class A teams. Yeah,
because even though if we say the three top teams are retaining their current number one drivers, there's still 3 seats available in top teams. And if Daniel Ricciardo got into, say, a Ferrari, he quite conceivably could catapult himself back up to be considered among the absolute elite. It's not as certain that it's just going to funnel down to the same 3 all the time. I think there's still some surprises to play out yet, because just you've got 3 seats there, 3 very, very competitive seats.
I remember we thought that in 2018, and then Ricciardo left Red Bull, just as I think even the team thought he was going to sign. But let's finish by going back to Lewis. I'll put this question to both of you very quickly. Do we think that what's happened so far and what's left on the market means Lewis will definitely be in a Mercedes in 2021?
Well, I wouldn't say definitely. I think it's the most likely option, but just because Leclerc's at Ferrari for the next, 4 seasons after this one, if Lewis is available, you get him, don't you? So
I think he will be. I think he'll want an 8th title if he wins a 7th, and the best place to be is probably Mercedes.